Hi guys, welcome to this week's reading vlog. Okay, I gotta keep this intro short because number one, my camera's about to die and I have a lot to talk about. So, life stuff. I'm doing my online course. That's happening. I have worked like almost every single day except for Friday. That's out of the way. We don't need to talk more about that. I'll talk more about that as the days go along. Now let's talk about reading. I have a lot of reading to do this entire month, especially this first couple of weeks because all the readathons are happening. So I'm doing 3 readathons in July. I'm doing the Reading Rush, aka Booktubeathon. I have the Final Bilingual Bigathon, and I have the Book Junkie Trials. So those are basically happening back to back. The Book Junkie Trials actually is a month-long readathon. So that gives me a lot more time to focus on those books, and I don't think I'll be reading one like back to back. I think we'll try to spread them out even while the other readathons are happening. Am I making any sense? I have no absolute idea. So that is that. But there's 2 books I need to make my own priority before I dive into those books. The first one of those is The Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas's book 2 in the Throne of Glass series. This is part of the Throne of Glass read-along that I'm doing with Miss Hassett Cassie and Brittany's Book Vine. All the details are down below for you guys. And the live show for this is next Wednesday. I'm 132 pages into this. This is a reread for me. I've read all of the books up to book 6 now. If you guys saw last week's vlog, you would know that. And this is my second or third time rereading Crown of Midnight. This is always my favorite book in the series up until I read Empire of Storms. And I think Tower of Dawn actually might be my favorite now. I'm not 100% sure. But this is definitely the turning point in this series. This is where it takes a big turn from what it was in the first book to what it is in book 3. And it's definitely slow at the beginning, but it definitely picks up as the book goes along, and then the ending is the major turning point. So yeah, this needs to happen. I would like to finish it tonight because, okay, this is the way I do my wrap-ups. So if I finish a book like on the first day of the next month, if I read the majority of it in the previous month, I will include it in the previous month's wrap-up. If I read the majority of the book in the next month, so for example, I read the majority of this in June, if I had done the opposite and read the majority of this in July, I would include it in my July TBR and wrap-up. So again, if I finish it tonight, it'll be included in my June wrap-up. You guys will already know by now how that went, and if not, it'll be my July TBR. Okay. So yeah, Crown of Midnight definitely needs to happen sometime this week. Hopefully tonight will be where I can finish it. Then from there, I have a few different options as far as book. So I'm going to talk about the Book Junkie Trials first. So again, this is a month-long readathon, and so this is by Rachel Marie Book Junkie, and I have an entire TBR video for that. I'll go ahead and link it on the screen for you guys if you don't want, or you want to hear more in-depth details on that. So there's 5 books that I need to read, and it's following a map that Rachel created that you have a different path. Each team has a different path. So I am part of the mage team, which actually means I didn't talk about this in last week's reading vlog. We actually had 3 extra days to get a head start on our TBR. I was just in the middle of reading Tower of Dawn at the time, so I didn't get to do that, but it is what it is. We'll get these books done, hopefully. So again, 5 books to talk about. So the first one of those is Cujo by Stephen King. We have the group book, which is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I have Straight to the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, which is a second chance book because I DNF'd that a few months ago. I have Prairie of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. And finally, I have Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, aka Shauna McGuire. So those books I need to spread out evenly across the 4 weeks in July. So that is that. If I finish all those books and also finish all the other books of the other readathons that I'm doing in July, I can then move on to Kingdom of Ash. So this is one I started on Saturday, and believe me, I wanted to just binge read it. I didn't want to put it down, but of course I had to go to work, so that kind of hindered that. But this hunker is almost 1,000 pages long. And after the ending of Tower of Dawn, I am just not prepared for this book at all. I'm not ready to say goodbye to these characters. I have just been so invested in the series since I read the first 5 back in 2016. I had like binge read it in the first 2 weeks of like October of that year. I have been obsessed with it, and Sarah J. Maas is my favorite author of all time. So I just don't want to say goodbye, but it needs to happen. And I want this to be done this month, but I highly doubt it's going to happen. July and August are big read-a-thon months for me, and I'll talk more about that later in the month, but I want to dive back into this so bad, but I'm just so busy with all the other readathons I'm doing, so we'll see when this happens. Who knows, maybe I'll just read it as part of the read-along, and that'll be my first time reading it. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling on about that. Now, I have 2 books to haul. These are part of the biennial bibliothon, the final one, which actually starts next Thursday, this Thursday for when you guys are seeing this. And I had my entire TBR planned out. I just didn't have 2 books, so I bought them recently. I got them in the mail today. The first one of those is a group book, which is Aurora Rising by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. These are the same authors who wrote the Illuminae Files. I initially was not going to pick this up. I like both of their writing styles. Both of the authors, I think, have really good writing styles. But I read Illuminae last June actually. I think it was the book that put me in the reading slump, and I absolutely hated it. So, I don't know. This sounds very different than Illuminae. I'm definitely going to go in this with an open mind. I'm not going to expect anything. I haven't heard the best things about it. I literally know nothing about it. I just know the tagline says they're not the heroes we wanted, they're just the ones we could find. So, I heard there's a lot of comparisons to Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo, which I also haven't read, but really want to. So I have that, and then the next challenge, I couldn't remember who had this, but it was one of the hosts' 5-star reads, and I picked Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I think this is Emma's pick. I could be wrong though. And this one is one that I have heard nothing but fantastic things about. This is dystopian, which is my favorite genre. And it takes place in a world where humans have basically conquered death and like literally everything, and the only way you can die in this world is if a scythe gleans you. We follow 2 main characters who are apprentices to scythes, and yeah, I'm assuming there's a romance somewhere in here, and again, that's literally all I know. And I, again, have heard nothing about fantastic things about it, so I'm excited to dive in. This might actually be my first read of that readathon, but we'll see when that happens. So that is it. That is my update. That is my long-winded intro. Holy cow. So I'm gonna go read, hopefully finish Crown of Night. I will talk to you guys in the morning. Hey guys, happy Thursday. It is 11:30 in the morning. So happy 4th of July. Today's the 4th of July. It's been a few days since I last updated. I do have a reading update for you guys. I finished a book, so that's exciting. But other than that, I really have nothing to talk about, so let's chat about my reading. So I did finish Crown of Midnight last night. I ended up lowering this 5 stars to 4 stars. It is definitely slower at the beginning, and then it picks up towards the end. So it's like 4.25, but I'm just gonna stay at a 4 right now. But I still really enjoy this one, and I can't wait to discuss it with you guys and everybody else in the live show next Wednesday, so be on the lookout for that. So that 4 stars from me, and I have moved on to my first read of the Book Junkie Trials, which is Cujo by Stephen King. And I am now on page 32, and nothing major has happened. If you guys are not familiar with the story, which I'm sure most people are familiar with it, it is a adult horror novel about a rabid dog. So that's literally all I know. And it's not that long, it's just over 300 pages, so that's why I picked it up first, because it's the shortest book on my TBR, because all the other books I have are well over 400 pages. I have a 400-page book, I have a 500-page book, and I have an almost 900-page book. So, yeah, that is that. So, that is everything I have to talk about right now. My plans for the rest of the day, I don't really do anything on 4th of July. My parents and I used to go to barbecues, but since I have work, we're not going to do anything. They're going to go to a barbecue next weekend with some old family friends. So that's happening. I have to work at 6 tonight. I might go in early though, who knows. So that's really it. I'm going to try to read. I need to film some videos, get some videos pre-filmed for the next couple of weeks. I already got some ideas in mind, so that's good. But yeah, other than that, that is my update, and I will chat with you guys later. Hey guys, happy Saturday. It is about 7 o'clock at night, and I do have a reading update for you. So I'm now just over 100 pages into Cujo. Yeah, I'm on page 108. I'm not loving this so far. I didn't know that much about the storyline of this before going in. All I knew was about a rabid dog, and that's about it. And I haven't seen the movie, but I expected it to be, since it is horror, more scary. But again, I'm only just over 100 pages in, so that could change. Right now it's standing about a 3-star. And that might be the way it stays. We'll have to wait and see. So that is that. I want to finish this tonight. And then I started another book. This is for my sociology class, which is Invitation to Sociology, A Humanistic Perspective by Peter L. Berger. I'm not sure how you say his name. Again, this is for my class. It's non-fiction. It's just about sociology. Nothing too special. It's like, again, a 3-star read. I don't read non-fiction typically, but one of my goals this year is to read 5 non-fiction books, and I have to read this for class anyway, so I figured just include it on here. Other than that, that's about it. My dad and I are just about to eat dinner. My mom's out with my aunt for the night, so she'll be gone for a few hours, and then I'm probably gonna play Wiz and probably do some reading after I watch a Twitch stream. So that is that. I also got the urge to start writing again. I haven't set myself to do any specific project. I have 2 in mind. That one I've already started. I started for NaNoWriMo a couple of years ago. If you guys have seen any of my NaNoWriMo vlogs, you already know that. That's my fantasy novel. I also have a contemporary novel in mind that I want to start writing. That's probably going to be my NaNoWriMo project for this year. And then there's another one that I came up with. Actually, I was inspired by something in a second. That's another fantasy novel. I think it would be probably middle grade to young YA. However, the reason I'm not going to write it is basically the entire plot line of Wizard 101. So that's not going to happen. That's my favorite video game, so it could be fan fiction, but I'm not going to write it, of course. So I don't know. I want to start reading. I did order a book from Amazon about novel ideas, which I could use. So that's going to be coming in the mail tomorrow. I will haul it for you guys when I get back from work tomorrow, because I work almost the entire day tomorrow. And we'll chat about it then. And yeah, that's basically all I have to talk about. So I'll let you guys go here and now, and I will talk to you guys later. Hi guys, happy Sunday. It is about noon right now, and let's chat. I have a reading update for you. I have a book that I got in the mail yesterday that I want to talk about. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a longer clip, but let's chat. So I'll start off with a book I got in the mail yesterday, and that is The Writer's Idea Thesaurus, an interactive guide for developing ideas for novels and short stories by Fred White. If you guys are new to my channel, I've been writing an adult fantasy novel for about 2 years now. I started during NaNoWriMo 2017. I actually won NaNoWriMo with that project, and I recently being last November during last year's NaNoWriMo, went back to it, realized it was absolute crap. Now, hear me out on this. And I decided to rewrite my entire story over again. I only got 7 chapters in, so I did not win NaNoWriMo last year, plus work was really busy because it was around Thanksgiving. So that is that. And I haven't picked it up since. Now, I want to get back into writing, and I had a few ideas here and there. I have a contemporary project in mind. I have another fantasy idea that I had in mind that I talked about briefly in this vlog. So I just need the motivation and the time to write. This book I got as a recommendation for one of the writers that I watch here on YouTube. I'll link her channel down below, and I'll put her name on the screen because I cannot remember it off the top of my head. And she recommended this book, and it is just basically, this is about 300 pages. It's all prompts for writing, and I've looked through this briefly last night, and I got a couple of ideas which I won't share just yet, just in case I do decide to work on them. One is a fantasy, the other is a dystopian. So, yeah, I am looking forward to diving more into this. It's not more of a reading kind of book, it's more, again, for developing ideas and creativity, which is what I really need because I really, again, really want to get back into writing. So, yeah, I will let you guys know if I find anything that I'm really going to start working on in the future when I do look through this book more. So that is that. As far as reading, I finished Cujo by Stephen King last night. I gave this 3 stars. For the book Chunky Child, this fulfilled the prompt of Orkgro, which was to read a dark or gritty or gruesome book. This is an adult horror novel, and I was disappointed. I had never seen the movie. I haven't seen any of the film adaptations of any of Stephen King's books, even the ones I've already read the novelizations of. And if you guys are brand new, I started reading Stephen King last year. He's from Maine, I'm from Massachusetts, so he is a local author. And my dad has actually met him. He met him at a Red Sox game years and years ago. So I was curious, and I just picked up Mr. Mercedes last February, and I got hooked. And then I read 5 of his books last year. Misery was my favorite book of 2019 or 2018, not 2019. So I decided this year that I wanted to read half of his published work, which is about almost 80 novels. So this is the first one I've read all year. I was very disappointed. I expected this to be a lot scarier than it was. It did have some very gruesome elements to it. I will say that's a big trigger warnings for death of a loved one, death of a pet, rabies is a big trigger warning, seizures. There's a lot of trigger warnings in this because it is horror. And it didn't really pick up until the last 150 pages or so, and that's when everything started happening. And I was originally going to give this 4 stars, but since the first half was so slow, that's why I dropped it down to a 3. But this really had me interested in learning more about rabies. Rabies is a virus that I'm sure everybody has heard about at this point. It's a neurological virus that basically turns it primarily affects animals, but it also can be transferred into humans, and it is deadly if it's not caught early. So it does devastating things, and this is a good example of what it does to a pet. So yeah, again, 3 stars. It wasn't awful. It was just not the best book by Stephen King that I've ever read. And I definitely will be watching the movie adaptation at some point. I do plan on watching all the movie adaptations in the future. So again, 3 stars. I'll stop rambling on about that. Next, I haven't started this yet, but my next read for the book Chunky Trials, and I would like to finish this by Thursday when the biannual Bibliothon starts, is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, aka Shauna McGuire. This one is a science fiction horror story with killer mermaids, so sign me up. I hope this is scarier. I heard it's actually really scary than Cujo was, but I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I've heard it's fantastic. I think the main character is actually on the spectrum, but I don't know for sure. I will let you guys know. And this is a chunker. It's probably close to 400 pages, if not longer. So I want to fly through this in the next few days before the Bibliothon starts. That way I'll have 2 books done for the book Chunky Trials and 3 books read this month in total. So, alright, I'm going to stop rambling on. I have to go read. I have to go to work at 2, so I have a little over 2 hours until I have to go to work. And I will chat to you guys later tonight.